Welcome back to Nerd Talk, episode 2, with these two movie buffs, myself, the little brother Ricardo, and that is the big brother, Alan V Photos, Alan Villasenor. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. Here, chilling. happy to be on here for the next one. It's getting juicy.
Sweet, man. Sweet. So let's kind of just dive right into it, man. The first topic was kind of the first blockbuster, I guess summer blockbuster this year. Bad Boys, Ride or Die. Box office success, man. Opening weekend. Bad Boys, Ride or Die. $104.6 million globally. 56 million domestic here in the United States, with a budget of 100 million. So, I mean, clearly, Will Smith still has got box office attached to his name. Dealing with all of that, PR turmoil and all of the just the kind of whirlwind that Will Smith, one of my favorite all-time actors, has dealt with in the past several years. People don't seem to care about that stuff, man. That people just want to see good movies. Number one, have you seen it yet? Number two, your thoughts, or just your thoughts in general on the fact that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, 19 years later, 20 years later, whatever it is, since the first one came out, are still making these movies and are still success.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet because this weekend was just crazy busy photography-wise. I am planning to catch it today, though. So, unfortunately, I wasn't a part of the 100.6 million globally. But I am excited to watch it. I've heard a lot of good things. Mostly people just on the TikTok burst just talking about how much fun it is, and that the action part of it is very unique. A lot of fun, the way that they filmed the movie. So I'm really excited to see it for that. And I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know if I would put it at the levels of like the Rush Hour films for me, because I love the Rush Hour films. But it's like that buddy cop type of film can be a lot of fun if done right. And then obviously Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are hilarious, and the chemistry is always there, off the charts. And I mean, I'm excited to watch it today. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be a part of it. And I know Will Smith is one of your favorite actors of all time. I mean, you literally had that box set of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You would watch through all those DVDs so much.
I had every season, man. Every season on DVD. I actually kind of went. That was kind of one of my first things that I collected. Like, kind of went after. I kind of went after all of the seasons, and eventually I did. I was like Thanos, man. I got all the the Fresh Prince Infinity Stones. Yeah. But I actually haven't had a chance to go watch it either, just with life and everything. But it's one that I won't miss in theaters. I definitely am going to go catch it this week. And I've kind of heard the same things that you have, as far as just how much fun people are having at the movies with this movie here. And the Rotten Tomatoes score, man, check this out. I mean, the Rotten Tomatoes is a 63% fresh. And typically for these kind of like buddy cop movies, like, that they're a little rougher on those movies, I guess, as far as their scoring goes. But I think the biggest thing is the 97% audience score on this movie.
It's big.
That's huge, man. That is huge. And typically for a movie like where these guys are older, like a lot of people are like, damn, they're still making Bad Boys movies. But I mean, clearly people are loving this movie, and I can't wait to go see it.
Attributes to that, like the people actually showing up for this one versus some of the other ones where you thought that it would have garnered a lot of box office attention, and then this one just kind of like out of the blue, boom.
I don't know, man. I do think it still has to do with the fact that Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are just like just an impeccable duo, on screen. Just you feel like these guys actually are really, I know they're not brothers in the movie, but they're brothers, bad boys. That's the whole premise of the movie.
Yeah.
And you can feel that even from the first one, man. The first one, those first two those were bangers, man. Those first two were amazing. Yeah. They still hold up to this day for me. Number 3, I do remember I watched that with you in theaters. I do remember having a great time at it. I didn't have no complaints, or I wasn't like, my God, this movie sucks or nothing like that. So, I'm not going to say I have, Bad Boys 2 level expectations for this one here, but I'm just going to go in with let's have some freaking fun, man. Let's laugh. Let's see some dope action. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, I'm similar. I've always enjoyed the Bad Boys films. Obviously, Bad Boys 2 has some quotable moments. You at least 30.
And they played on that. They played on the whole Reggie theme, if you remember in number 3.
Yeah.
And I seen Reggie in the trailer in this one too, man. So it's got one of the most iconic scenes in just history. That's just so quotable and just so rememberable, man.
Remember, I think it was Bad Boys 2 where they had this, or it could have been 3. Now I'm kind of getting them all jumbled together right now. But there is this scene where they're having a gun battle with the Jamaican gang. Was that in Bad Boys 2? And they had these really dope scenes, like where
with
they're
the wall, right
through the wall. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's the stuff that I just think is a lot of fun when you're doing an action movie and you do all these different camera angles and you're just having a blast at the movies, like just seeing like, oh dang, that's crazy the way that he went. Like,
well, there's that behind the scenes shot of Will Smith, like with the camera like harnessed onto him, with it kind of like in a first person shooter mode.
Yeah,
and Will is the one
you
like
shared that with me. That was sick.
I mean, that looks awesome, man. And you're right, that scene in part 2 is awesome. Part 1, that shot where they're on doing the street chase, and the bad guys get away and the camera pans and does that kind of 360 around them, and they're like, they're out of breath, and you got that classic shot of Will with his shirt undone, and then Martin Lawrence in the tank top. Great movies, man. Great yeah.
Kind of like a hero shot.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations to Will Smith and their team over there, Martin Lawrence, and I'm mostly happy for Will, because again, he's had a whirlwind of kind of PR nightmares in the past few years. I don't want to get into, but congratulations to them for having success and still being box office, man.
Excited.
I love it. So
excited to be a part of the week 2 where we keep it up.
Yeah, you keep it up. Make it the number 1 movie in theaters for 2 weeks in a row. So, perfect, man. So, the next thing, here's what I want to do, man. I kind of thought about this after last week where I asked you, when I said I got good news and bad news. So, I kind of thought of a segment called Good News, Bad News. So, I'm going to throw a topic at you, and you tell me if that's good news for people or if that's bad news. Like if it's going to be good or if it's going to be bad. You kind of give me your take, okay?
All right. Feeling the pressure, man.
All right. And this one's kind of staying on the same theme. Not Bad Boys, but an iconic franchise. And I know this one is near and dear to your heart, okay? Because this one goes way back, okay? Film insiders have reported that a prequel to The Mummy is now in development at Universal. Okay, it's not clear which version of The Mummy, given that of course Brendan Fraser had his run with The Mummy, and then if you remember there was a Tom Cruise one, which I don't remember it. Very forgettable movie. Do you remember catching that one? Or they kind of changed the whole theme and tone of that one. That's kind of the only thing that I remember. But let me ask you this. Is this good news or is this bad news that there is reportedly a Mummy prequel in the works at Universal?
You know, I'm kind of leaning towards the bad news because a part of me is just kind of tired of these the movie studios continuing to just push these same old like IPs in our face over and over and over again. And I don't know, I'm just, obviously if the story is good, if it's an interesting take on the story, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't really know like what is supposed to be shown in it, like how they become the mummy. I feel like I have to know more about what the movie might be about before I can really give it like the good news or bad news, like thumbs up, thumbs down kind of feeling. But I'm personally kind of tired of seeing the same old stuff over and over again, which is a reason why I've been kind of like going off on watching these random movies that I've never seen before, just because I want something fresh and new, like to not have to watch the same thing over and over again, you know?
Yeah, I see what you mean, and I'm actually with you, bro. I think this could be bad news, unfortunately. Though I love The Mummy Part 1 and Part 2 with Brendan Fraser, I don't know how you do a prequel to Brendan Fraser's Mummy, because they basically gave you the prequel in the beginning of the movie with they show you Imhotep, they show you Anaxinamun, they show you that how he was, put into the sarcophagus and all that. And then, to my understanding, when he was awakened was the very first time he had been awakened, right? So
exactly what I don't know what we're supposed to get. Like, would it be the Brendan Fraser character in that?
I'm all for Brendan Fraser reprising his role as O'Connell. I'm all for that because I like Brendan Fraser, and when I think Brendan Fraser, I think, I think The Mummy. You know what I mean? I know people might think The Whale right now because that's kind of the most recent, but I think The Mummy, and I think that's his most iconic character. I know he's got some good stuff.
I always think of the Mummy, Bedazzled.
Oh God!
And
I actually watched it recently. Man. Yeah, I actually watched Bedazzled not too long ago, man.
I'd rather see a Bedazzled sequel. That's a good one they should do instead.
Ay, es cocaína. But as far as a prequel goes, I mean, again, I don't know how they do a Fraser prequel. I mean, maybe it's kind of that Tom Cruise kind of vibe. I don't know, but I don't think that one really landed with fans.
Just make a new Mummy, man. Just make a different Mummy movie. Stop trying to like tug on everyone's heartstrings all the time. Just make a good movie about a mummy that doesn't have anything to do with the world that you created before. Like, let the creative people get creative.
Yeah, and it feels like they kind of lax these days, man. I mean, again, there's still only so many. No, I mean, I guess that's what part of being creative is there's only like so many stories that have already been told, and how do you interpret them? That's what creativity is. But okay, moving on to the second question here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is debuting a series on Paramount Plus, a limited 12-episode series. It looks to me like it's based in this most recent Mutant Mayhem. It's those version of the Ninja Turtles. It's definitely the same voices. The animation is different, but it's definitely the same character design, same voice actors, same kind of tone. But let me ask you, man, is this good news or is this bad news that they're doing a 12-part limited series on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
It's funny because it kind of goes back to that thing we just talked about, and I'm about to contradict myself. But I think that it's good news for kids, good news for like the newer generation, which can become fans now from like a very young age. And I'm thinking in terms of like that Jurassic World series that was on Netflix.
Camp Cretaceous. Yeah, Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah. And so obviously, if you're a humongous fan of the Ninja Turtles, then you can dive into that world a little bit more. But like, I know that I'm not the target audience for that show. So I think for, you know, the younger generation, it's a great way for them to kind of get into the Turtles. And I think it's good news for that reason, because I know I'm not the target audience, and there can be a lot of fun in that world. I mean, I really liked the movie. I really enjoyed the movie. I don't know that I would be technically watching it myself, but like I said, I think it's good news for the world of people, like, you know, watching the Turtles. But I'm
so
just not
good
the target
news.
Audience.
So good news, but just maybe.
What do you?
But not for you. But you think it could be a good series?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say it wouldn't be a good series. I think it would definitely be a good series. I just don't know that I'm the target audience for it. You know.
Got you. Well, I'm gonna agree with you, and I guess in a little bit more positive light. I'm not saying that you're negative, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You weren't like, yeah, dude, that's great news. You know what I mean? I actually think that's awesome, man. I'm gonna go ahead and go good news on this series, because I really enjoyed that Mutant Mayhem movie, man. That thing.
Yeah, that movie was fun.
Dude, that movie was so much fun.
I guess what I'm scared of is that it's going to be one of those things where you have to watch these shows now in order to get, like, if they make a second movie. And I'm not really a fan of that, like, having to do so much research, having to do so much just to know, like, what you're going to get into in the next movie. And I'm not sure if they have plans for this sequel, but I feel like they would, because it was a really good movie. So
yeah, I believe they do. I mean, just kind of the way they ended it, they kind of showed a little Shredder, little preview of Shredder. But dude, that movie was so much fun to me. It had me rolling when they brought out the cardboard.
Hilarious.
The cardboard Chris Evans and the Chris Pine and dude, that had me rolling, man. But I actually think it's good news. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm glad we don't got to wait like a whole, year for it. They just debuted the trailer and it comes out in August. So, hey, man, I'm excited about it. My daughter really loved the first one, so definitely something for her and I to put on and have a good time with, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and say good news, as long as they kind of stick to the basis of what got them there, the unity of brothers and all that good stuff, and the comedy, and as long as they don't water anything down, as long as they don't water anything down, I think they'll be just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and say good news. I'm gonna go ahead and say good news for that. So all right, third subject here. There is always in this world of big movies and these big universes, the Marvel universe, the upcoming DC universe, there's always internet speculation. So one of the biggest ones right now, bro, is James Gunn's DC universe. Topics is, who is the James Gunn DCU's Cape Crusader? Who is their Batman? We all know who is Superman, David Corn Sweat. But The biggest, what I'm kind of seeing, and I don't know if you've seen this around, but a lot of fans are doing their own fan castings. They want Jensen Ackles, who plays a soldier boy in The Boys. Okay, I'm not sure if you could picture his face, but if you go online, you look him up. You know what I'm talking about. So
yeah,
fans are casting him.
Crazy show.
That's a crazy show. Season 4 is going to come out soon too. But so fans are casting Jensen Ackles. Fans want this man to be Bruce Wayne. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I've kind of seen the fan edits, and there's actually like an AI trailer that somebody made.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. And I'm not gonna lie, dude. That guy actually looks like freaking Bruce Wayne. That guy looks like the guy you see when you think of like a Bruce Wayne. Who fits Bruce Wayne and who fits a Batman? He looks the part, man. He looks the part, and he's actually voiced Batman before in animated Batman movies, Justice League movies. So, but here's the good news, bad news. Do you think it's good news or bad news that fans get so invested in these fan castings only to sometimes be disappointed? Because it doesn't always go that way, as we've seen with Reed Richards in the MCU. So is this good news or bad news that fans are dead set on this is who they want as their DCU's Batman?
You know, I think it's a lot of fun to speculate like who could play the part really well. But I think it's bad news if we put all our eggs in one basket and we think, oh, it's only going to be a good movie if this guy plays the character. You know, I am going to be completely honest with you. When it came to the Elseworlds DCU Batman, Robert Pattinson, I was like, what? This guy? The Twilight boy? Come on, man. Mr. Shines and glitters in the sunlight. That's the guy that we're going to have as Batman? Like, yeah, right. And then next thing you know, it's like it's up there with one of the best Batman movies ever, and his Batman / Bruce Wayne character are extremely interesting and intriguing and fun to watch, and he plays the character really great. So my brain was thinking, no way, it has to be somebody else. And next thing you know, this guy just like kills it. And
absolutely.
So, you know, fan castings sometimes get us in the zone where we're not going to be able to enjoy the film if we like are just stuck thinking, oh, well, it should have been this other guy. Now, I mean, there are times when fans are probably right, but and this one, I feel like it could be one where fans, I think we're all kind of in agreement. Like that would be a great casting because the guy has the presence for sure.
And he's come out and actually said that he would love to do it as well.
Yeah. So I would say it's bad news if we put all our eggs in one basket and just kind of go for it. But as far as would it be good news if Ackles was chosen? I mean, that would be good news to me.
Yeah. You know, and I don't want this show to be oh, we're all kumbaya holding hands and we're always in agreement. But unfortunately I gotta agree with you again, man. I think it is bad news when you do have all of that expectations and you're already picturing this person as this character. I mean, like to me, you know, I thought John Krasinski was going to be the perfect Reed Richards. You know, he just looks like Reed Richards, and I actually didn't mind him when he cameoed. You know, of course, you know, everybody has their thing, but that's not his fault, you know, how it ended and whatnot. But him himself, I was like, holy shit, dude, like, it's Reed Richards. That is Reed. You know, I could see it. You know, I see it. Until he turned into string cheese. But
light work.
until he was light work. But anyway, the point is I do think it's bad news when people are so dead set on one guy, and it doesn't always work that way. But I think this is a good person to cast. I think now it's seared into my brain now. You know, and another fan casting that I've been seeing a lot in like comment sections and stuff like that is like I've heard like a Glenn Powell for Cyclops in like the MCU and their X-Men moving forward. I thought that was probably would have been a pretty good one too. I can see that.
Yeah.
You know,
I think so.
But anyway,
he's set to be in a lot of films here.
He's blowing up, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think what you think it was Top Gun that really just kind of set him on a course of just superstardom?
Absolutely. I feel like it was just that role that it just fits characters like perfectly. That's a movie that was just perfectly cast.
I know, but he was like, the crazy thing is he was just like such an asshole in that movie. I know he has like a character arc, you know, at the end and a little redemption story, but he was an asshole in that movie. Yeah.
But that's why, you know, we liked him. He gave us a little tension in the room, you know, and that's how a lot of people are in very competitive like scenarios. Or obviously, like being a fighter pilot, that sounds like a very competitive field, you know. You think of athletes, and when we see like or when we think of like sports, we want our athletes to be kind of like assholes to the other guys, because you're like, no, I'm the best, like I'm gonna beat you, you know. So a part of us, maybe we think he's an asshole because we're kind of rooting for Goose, you know. But you know, I think we need like that sometimes.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, he was an asshole, but there is a part of you that's like, yeah, you know, but I can kind of relate to this guy because he just believes he's the best. But this Jensen Ackles casting or fan casting, I encourage you to go check out the AI. There's a whole AI. There's a whole AI trailer of just the castings. Glenn Powell's in it too as Green Lantern, and I'm like, holy shit, he does look like Green Lantern.
That's another one. I thought when you said his name that's what you were gonna say, but I have heard that he would be great for Cyclops too, and I'm like, yeah, it seems like he would be.
Yeah. So I encourage you to go watch that, man. They have David Corn Sweat, obviously, in his Superman role, and then they show just a boatload of DC's characters and Jensen Ackles. I'll send you the link once we're done here. But that's kind of it for that segment, man. Cool. Anything else?
No, man, that was it.
Sweet, awesome. Well, this we're gonna put a bow on episode 2 here. I'm DJ Nerd, aka Ricardo, and that is
Alan V Photos, right there.
Till next time, peace.